Hello, it is Friday, March 26th, 2021, and today we're going to be working on a dungeon crawler game in Unity. There is a dungeon crawler jam coming up, so that's what I want to work on. Get rid of you, we don't need that. Looks like the camera is holding up, everything else is working. Good. I think, hold on. Okay, yes. My microphone is actually blocking out the noise like it should be, I think. Although I think the filter might be a bit strong, actually. Let's try that. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit better. We can go a little bit higher. Okay, yeah, that seems to be working right. Alright, just wanted to make sure it was blocking out the noise, but not my voice. So, yeah, we're going to be working on a dungeon crawler in Unity. So this one is going to be themed. It's going to be very similar to our the last game that we made, the last game that we made for a game jam, in that it's going to sort of follow this pattern of you're going to have skills that you can train. Skills are going to feed into the events that you can complete, and at the end of each turn, you can practice those skills to get different benefits. So in this case, you're going to be controlling a little pirate ship, and you're going to be sort of raiding on the seven seas, and each dungeon that you go into is going to be another ship in and of itself, and so you're going to raid that for loot and, you know, destroy the enemies within. But this is going to be the UI. There's like very minimal stuff done. The main thing that is done is just laying out all of the data objects. So we have sort of resources and skills and things like that. The only code that actually runs right now is at the startup. It fills in the stats over here, or not the stats, but the resources, sorry. The actual stats in this game, instead of things like strength or dexterity or whatnot, it's going to be actual, like, the content of the crew. So you're going to have, like, the captain, the crewmates, the cannoneers, officers, and then some kind of magical class that I haven't sort of determined yet. None of these buttons really do anything. They're going to be very similar to the last game, where it just opens up sort of a list view in the center there. But what we need to do is we need to actually get the dungeon stuff working today. And I'm not sure how we're going to do, well, actually, I am kind of sure how we're going to do that. So let's hide the canvas really quick, because we don't want that quite yet. We can also hide the directional light, because that's not going to be relevant at all. We'll probably delete it for all we care. So I have my cheat sheet here. We're going to be using sort of bit flags. So we're going to need 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Hey, W, yeah, happy Friday to you as well. Yeah. Finally. Yeah. I remember whenever I had a day job, I loved Fridays because, you know, got to drink a bunch of coffee, stay up really late programming, and not get paid for any of it. So, unless of course something crashed on Friday, then of course you got to stay up late, but at least you got paid for it. But we eventually made a rule that we didn't deploy things on Friday. Yeah. Now I get to spend my entire day programming and not get paid for it. It's the programmer's dream, right? Anyway, but yeah, we eventually at my job we made a rule that we don't deploy on Friday for any reason whatsoever, because we inevitably broke something and would have to spend Saturday fixing it. Yeah. I'm gonna try to implement some bit flag stuff. I haven't done like bit flag like terrain sort of stuff since like high school or something. God, it was a long time ago. It's like the first time I had to use sort of tile-based stuff with bit flags was for like a pathfinding algorithm. Like a pathfinding algorithm was the first thing that I ever wrote, and so, you know, it's something that's sort of near and dear to my heart. But anyway, I got to figure out how to do it in C#, because I know that C# has some weird things with enums, and I got to figure out how that's gonna work. I don't know. But anyway, let's start building the tiles, and then maybe we'll figure out how to make it work from there. So I think I don't have images. No, I do have images there. Okay, I don't have any textures though. It's just saying you can't use. You can just use enums. Yeah, I think you're correct. Let me actually do that first then, because maybe I don't know. So I got to think about how I want to. The other question is, do I actually need enums? So, all right, let's create a, say, tile type. So this is going to tell us what kind of, no, it's not. We're going to use the tile class that I have. Unity doesn't handle it out of the box, but there are some assets you can download that makes using them easier. Yeah, so the thing that I'm going to do, so I know that Unity has, can handle it. I know that Unity can handle like the tile stuff, like 2D stuff. So for the Dungeon Crawler Jam, so the Dungeon Crawler Jam, we actually have to make a 3D game. I think it doesn't explicitly say it has to be 3D, but it does say that it has to have 90-degree turning in cardinal directions, and it has to be like first person. So we have to make something similar to this. I think Eye of the Beholder. Yeah, so it needs to have this kind of dungeon exploration. And so what I need to do, like the major thing that I need to figure out, or the major thing that bugs me, right, is let's say, let me actually create something and demonstrate the issue. So I think I'm going to use a quad for the floor. What do you mean? Oh, hey Zaysha, how's it going? You happy that it's Friday? I don't know where to begin with that. These jams are intense. Yeah, I know, I do. I know. I'm kind of crazy with the game jam stuff. I really just love to program, and you know. Oh right, this is gonna do that because of that. And sure, no work for me on Fridays. Oh, that's great. Man, I wish I had a job. Wish I had a job where there's no work on Fridays. Might be wrong, but before, when you had enum flags, Unity was a bit wonky about it. Ah, interesting. All right. Okay, so the question, or the thing that I'm trying to figure out. So the thing that I'm trying to figure out is if you have tiles and the walls, because I know that I want the walls to be. Okay, so for this dungeon crawler game, I'm going to be designing ship interiors, like the inside of a ship. And so I need the walls to be super thin, because otherwise it gets too hard to make rooms and the dungeons get too big. So I need the walls to be between the tiles. And so the question is, whenever the player's in a tile, do I store, or do I, whenever I want to check if they can move between two tiles, do I check if they can enter this tile, or do I check if they can leave this tile, or both? So the question is, does the wall exist, you know, on both tiles, or does it exist sort of between the tiles? It was a few years ago. Yeah, a bit masking. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So you could have, because I mean, you could also have a case where you have a tile, a wall, and then a tile, and you would know that like the even or the odds or something like that, then you'd have to move 2 units at a time. The issue there is that gets really hard to think about, especially whenever you're doing like pathfinding algorithms and stuff. So that's what I'm trying to sort of figure out in my brain right now, is if the wall needs to exist on this tile, on that tile, or on both, or how that might work. Because I mean, you could do something like that. Then it's a question of how do you know not to display, how do you know to only display one copy of that wall? So yeah, it's a super complicated thing that I gotta think about how to do. I guess what I could do is I could store, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to store the ability to enter and exit, and if you want to move from this tile to this tile, you're going to have to both be able to exit this tile from that direction and enter this one from the opposite direction. I think that's how it's going to have to work. That way, either tile could have the wall. I think that'll work. But anyway, the way that I'm thinking about doing it is that we're going to have a type of tile. So like basically each tile is going to be a different configuration of walls. So in this case, right, so you know, two different kinds of tiles, they just have different configurations of walls, and then the actual texturing is going to come from some kind of style that gets applied to the tile itself. And so I think that's how I'm going to do it. So if I go into tile, this has the prefab. What we need is we need an enum of, what is it, tile, what would it be? It's kind of like, suppose there's no inspector for bit masking, or bit mask enums. I'm not sure what else would be a bit wonky about it though. Yeah. I guess if I really wanted to, I could make my own custom inspector. So the theory would be, like in project settings, you have, what is it? It's in the physics? In physics? Yeah. I mean, this is basically a bit mask, more or less. Yeah, it ended up looking something like this. Although I don't want to try to make that. I could, but I don't want to try to make it. It'd be too long. But so each tile itself is going to represent the actual prefab. We can get rid of that. Oh, okay, I might have phrased it strangely, but I mean the inspector. Yeah. Let's say public enum. Let's say tile type. Then if we had, let's say, the question is, what do you even call these? I actually don't know. Just call it _0. So this is at bitmask 0. And then, actually wait, it would be, does this do binary representation? I think it does. So this would be 0, 0, 0, and then 1 would be binary 0, 0, 0, 0, 1? Something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'd even call this. I mean, at this point, if I'm going to use enums, is there a point in using enums? Because really, this is just the index at where it is in the tile map. So I don't necessarily think there's a reason to use enums. The only reason to use them would be for like a static reference, but I think I could just do, it's effectively just an int. Yeah, I think, yeah, you're right. In .NET, unfortunately, well, not in .NET, but in C#, unfortunately, enums are just ints. I wish I was using Java because they have the really powerful enums. I mean, I guess the advantage to an enum is that I can add, well, it can be enumerated. That's one advantage, and then also you can add extension methods to it, which, well, you can do that to an integer as well. Yeah, I think we'll just use, okay, so if I just call this tile 01 like that, and just 0, let me just say new tile, and then the prefab, we would call it, prefab. Can it not be static? Okay. So my theory with this prefab thing, the reason that it's a string is I'm going to have some kind of scriptable object that has like a dictionary in it, and then that way I can bind this name to whatever the prefab name is. So this is going to be tile 0. And if there's other properties, like I'm thinking there's going to be like a public, you know, direction, like, don't want that. Probably like going to be some kind of enum called direction, and it's going to be like, you know, can exit, and then maybe another one for can enter or something. And then the reason that I'm doing this with two partials like this is just so that I can keep all the properties here and I can keep all the nonsense over here. So I like that C# lets you do this with partial classes. It is definitely an abuse of the system, but I don't care because I like it. So yeah, I think we're just going to need two. I think we need, because we're doing 4 directions. Yeah, we're doing 4 directions. So for this, we need, what is it, 16? No, so there's one where you have just 4 walls. We're not going to be using that one, so we don't need that one. So we only need 15 tiles. And then there's also the, we need like wedge tiles so that we can make the edges of the hull. So yeah, we're going to need these tiles and then something else. So I think, so I think we're going to need, we also need a version of like a blank tile that you can never enter for any reason. And I guess that's the same as like a 4-walled tile, but I don't know. Anyway, we need many copies of this. So these are the normal ones. These are the non-wedged ones. The question is how we're going to do the wedged ones. And I think that's going to be with flags 1, 2, 4, and 8 for the wedges, because that way with the wedges you can rotate them correctly if you use 1, 2, 4, and 8. But I think with the rotation, I think to rotate these tiles, all you have to do is you have to do like a bit shift to the left or something, or to the right, and then it rotates them. So I think that'll work. But yeah, this will make sense in a little bit, why we're doing it this way. At least I hope it'll make sense. But yeah, had I known that I was going to do it this way, I probably would have just went and typed all this out ahead of time. It's a bit late now. So I do need to make sure we have 7, or we need all 15, or 0 through 15. And then trying to access anything else is not going to do anything. And this will, oh, well, we have 10. I do want these to all have the same width, because the way that we're going to create the maps is we're going to just have a like static array of tiles, and then we're going to apply some kind of style to them. And there might also be, well, actually, given this, yeah, I don't know. I got to think about how this works. It's a lot of questions to answer, but for the moment, we're going to do it this way. And yeah. I think up through 14 is all we need? Yeah, 14 is all we need. Because 15 isn't going to be useful to us. Okay. So let's create the actual tiles themselves. Does not exist in this context. Yeah. We don't need any of this. We'll deal with that later. So the question is going to be, well, actually, no, we're fine. All right, so we actually need to create the tiles themselves. So this is in 3D object. We need a quad at 0, 0, 0. We can remove the collider because we won't need it. Just say 90-degree rotation here. And then we can add an empty. We can say this is called tile. We'll say 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, Looks like you do have editor GUI layout.enum flags field. Really, there's a UI toolkit version of this? Hold on, let me check this out. Oh, wow. Oh, right, because I remember this now. This is the thing that you see in what is it? It's in the camera, right? In the clearing flags? Where is it? Can't remember. Yeah, in the culling mask, that's what it is. Oh yeah, you're right, layer mask also uses them. Yeah, right, I remember now, okay. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't think of, oh god, what is it again? Yeah, it's in the culling mask that they have it, so you can like turn off water and then you get mixed. Oh, okay. That's, hmm. Gotta think about that. I gotta think about how that would work. But yeah, that's cool. And there's a UI toolkit version? Really? I'm curious what that looks like. And I can spell it right. I don't think this is it. I don't think so. It doesn't. UI toolkit, enum flags. You can see it in the editor. Oh, okay. Where is it in the editor? Curious. Huh. No one's showing pictures of it, unfortunately. I would look at, like, I know it's probably in a newer editor window, but I'm not sure. Oh, is it in Gizmos? No, it's not. Okay. If there's a place that I can see it, is it this thing here? No, I don't think so. No, that's a select one. Window UI toolkit sample. Oh, that's cool. Oh wow, that's really cool. I didn't know. Oh wow, that's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Under value fields. Okay, so this is dark and light theme. Value fields, color curve, curve gradient, color value fields. Or sorry, choice fields. Okay, so it's the same thing, it's just through here. Well, that's cool though. So yeah, an enum, a mask, right. Okay, so yeah, we can grab everything, we can get rid of that, we can say nothing, okay. So we could do second and third and then we get mixed. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize it had all these features, okay. Okay, that's really cool. So yeah, that's if I have to do something in the future with enum masks, I will definitely have to use that. So this is tile 0. This is the floor. I didn't know about that window either. Oh. Yeah, that's really cool. It shows you like the dark and then the light theme. That's awesome. I guess these are not interactable, but yeah, it shows you all the states of them. Like, that's really neat. Seems like there should be a flags attribute, but no luck finding one. Seems like there should be a flags. Oh yeah, that would be really helpful if. Yeah, so you're saying like for a component, if you had like a protected, you had some kind of protected, trying to think, my enum, enum or whatever, and then you would just say, flags. That would be really useful. Yeah, that'd be super useful. I actually bet you could make that. I bet you could add that attribute if someone wanted to. I might have to experiment with that one day. But yeah, that is tile 0. Let's also, for the moment, just get rid of the camera. Yeah, you can. I already know how. Okay. Custom attributes are sweet. Yeah, I have seen people use them, but I've never used them myself. I kind of want to, but I don't know, never gotten around to it. Okay, it's tile 1. This faces the north axis. But yeah, I've definitely got to mess with, that's not what I want. Definitely got to mess with them someday. This is a cube, yes. And I think it needs to be 0.1? No. 0.1? 0.05, yes. But yeah, I knew someone who, they made like a read-only one so that they could show read-only stuff without having to go into the debug mode. And that was kind of nice, kind of sweet to use. Do a lot of editor scripting, perhaps more than game scripting. Yeah, I know that. I know the feeling. Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know, the Unity like editor scripting always frustrated me. But of course, if I get into it, I'm the kind of person that would, basically do what you do and just use, do more editor scripting. Like, I would design it so that the editor script would, just make the game for me, and then I wouldn't have to deal with it. So that will be tile 1, and then tile 2. I don't know. I'm one of those people that likes everything to be dynamic, if I can make it dynamic. And then it just turns into this trap of, I don't know. I'm one of those people. It's like, why spend, haha, edit, make game, yeah, basically. Be like, just design, create asset menu, it'd be like, create, then, I'll create a game, I'll create a level, I'll create a player, and just be done with it. You don't even have it in a menu, you just have it, bound to a hotkey or something. Be too much fun. So 3 is where you have this. Nope, that's a little bit too large. The dream. Well, the problem with generating a game is that you would also have to program it to generate the bugs, otherwise it wouldn't be realistic. Then you just need voice control, then it's almost holodeck ready, yeah, basically. It's kind of interesting, back whenever like voice controlled stuff was coming out, like there was a very early program called Dragon that would do like speech to text, and I actually hooked it up to my editor at the time, my IDE at the time, and I tried to program with voice only, and it is one of the most horrible experiences I've ever had. It just did not work. It was pretty bad trying to get it to do like all the punctuation and stuff you needed. Like I attempted it for all of like a day, and I was like, this will never work. Yeah, it really was. It was really early voice technology too. It was like prior to, like this was prior to Siri. So it was not at all well developed technology. And it just ended up, yeah, it didn't work. But it was a fun little experiment. Alright, so this is 6. And then 7. I'm curious what programming in the future will look like. Like, I'm curious if all of the visual languages will ever pan out. Like, part of me hopes that they do, because I don't know, more people programming is a good thing, but at the same time, I kind of like my job, or I kind of like the option of getting a job. So I don't know. And then of course we might have AI writing its own code at some point, and that'll just be terrifying. I mean, I know there's already, like, you know, self-evolving algorithms and stuff like that, but they don't do that much. I think all this is fine. So I think 8, no, you are tile 9, and that's wall there. Okay. Then we need to get rid of you, we need to get rid of that, and then we need to put you over here. 10, and then a wall here. Oh boy. Okay, so we need, let's say 10 and 11. Right. Let's put that up there. All right. So yeah, I think the walls are thick enough that they'll, you know, have some kind of depth, but not so thick that they'll cause an issue. Because I'm not going to use any kind of collision with them. I'm just going to, you know, I'm not going to use any kind of collision. I'm going to just sort of snap the player to a grid and call it good enough. I think that's 11. No, this is 12. 12 does not have that. And 12 has this back here. All right. The advantage to doing it this way is that if I ever want to use some kind of rotation, it's like actually, I think, very easy to rotate these. Curious what will happen too. AI could be a real game changer in the next 20 years. Yeah, it really could. Especially if we can devote it, especially if we could get like some kind of simulation of like a human body, and then just let the AI experiment with different medicines. Like if we could get an accurate simulation of the human body, you know, you just hook it up to a neural network or something, and you could, you know, solve a lot of medical problems in a record time with that. I hope Elon Musk decides to work on that next, because like that's, you know, if he could get something like that running, that would be amazing. And I only say Elon Musk because he's the only one, it's like the only human on Earth that seems to have, you know, the initiative required to get it done. Maybe Bill Gates, but I don't know. I mean, I guess if you could simulate human populations well enough, you could, you know, get an AI to work on things like poverty or other issues. But I think the human body would be easier to simulate than a massive population, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm going to create a, let's call it a tile list. And I'm going to put all of these tiles into, where is it? Scriptable tile list, right. So this will be a namespace, and we'll say red plus blue dot game. Then have a tile list. But yeah, I don't really have my hopes that high for AI, just because I've seen AI Dungeon, and you know, it's like the pinnacle of what we can do right now, and it's not too great. You know, it's not terrible, but it could be better. Okay, so what this will do is this will let us create a list of tiles that we can register into a dictionary. And so what we need to do is in data, let's just call this tiles, say a, oh, right, we need the create asset menu thing. This is list of tiles. So create a tile list. This is just tiles. And so we need all of these into there, so I think... why is it not like that? So if I create one, and I put you here. I am confused. Why? Oh, it has to be a prefab. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you're right. That makes sense. You're right, that makes sense. Unpack completely. Scriptable objects can't reference things and scenes. Yeah, okay, you're right. I don't know why I tried to do that. I blanked on that for a second. Alright. So can I create multiple prefabs at once? It appears I can't. That would be handy, wouldn't it? But yeah, you're right. I guess because the they have to be like serialized or something, and that's the only way that the... Because I guess an object in a scene, it's hard to know which is which or something. I don't know. I guess if the scene wasn't loaded, you couldn't do anything with it. Yeah, that makes sense. Nervous about hovering over an existing prefab. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I think it's something like that. Okay. Yeah, like that would make sense. Like if you tried to reference, if I tried to reference a something that's in the scene and then that scene is not loaded, it would be, I wouldn't know what Unity would want to do there. I guess that's fair. It wouldn't really have any meaning. Okay. So what this will do is it will just create a map from the name of this tile into the actual prefab reference itself. So now in theory, what I should be able to do is so we have tile, and of course I used lowercase, because why would I use uppercase when that's what I meant? I'm not a huge fan of binding things by name, but you know what I actually wish? I wish Unity would generate something similar to an Android resources file. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but the Android resources file is like the coolest thing in the world. It generates like this static class, and then every single resource you have, it automatically generates a static field with the name of that resource, so you can just load everything by name, but it's all statically bound. Oh yeah, it's the coolest thing ever. It, yeah, Android, the R file, the r.java file in Android. It's just the coolest thing in the world. So this, like, it gets auto-generated, so if you have, like, well, I'm trying to think. This isn't what I expected it to be, but I think this is actually correct. So like the like all of your images get generated with public final ints, int fields like this, and they point to like different memory locations. The same thing is true for like all your layouts. So like your XML files, all your XML layouts get generated into this private static final class. And it just generates the whole thing for you, so you can reference it directly in code without having to rely on the on strings. It's just so nice. I wish Unity would do something like that with prefabs. I mean, I suppose you could do something like that, but I mean, I guess what you could do is you could have like a resources list, and you could add that to, or like, you could have everything in the resources folder, and then you could add that to the development or to the pipeline or something, but it would just be really inefficient and annoying. Wish Unity just did it by default. It'd be so nice. Anyway, what I want to do is for the map, I want want to say tiles, and that's equal to new tile. So we're going to create a two-dimensional array. We need a 2D array initializer. And then I think we're using static tiles, so we should be able to say, yeah, 0, 0, and then say 0, oops, 0, 1. So let's create a couple tiles. Let's create a 3 by 3, or let's say a 3 by 2. And see what we can find with this. All right, 3, 4, and 5, and let's try to instantiate this into existence. So the way that we shall do that is we probably want a map scriptable object. And let's just say I don't know, map scriptable object. I hate it because, but I can't use map because I already have the actual map itself here. Actually, no. We'll call this map data. That'll work. And then we can call this a map. That's closer to what it is. Say namespace game. All right. And this is a scriptable object with create asset menu. Oops. Menu name is equal to, say, map. Say data slash map. Okay. And I'm not entirely sure what this will actually, whoops, we need a Unity engine here. Yeah, a Unity engine here. Not entirely sure what this will do. What are your thoughts on using a structure a bit like meshes, where the triangle data is just a list of vertex indexes? What are your thoughts on using a structure a bit like meshes? What do you... Oh, yeah. So you're right. I actually thought about this. Yeah, it could just be 0 and 1. Wait, where the vertex, or where the, you could just use 0, 1, or it could be in, or it could be the index in the prefab collection. So the way that I did it, so what are your thoughts on using a structure a bit like meshes, where the triangle index data is just a list of vertex indexes? Could just be 0 and 1, be the index in the prefab collection. Yeah, you're right, it could be. I don't know why I did it this way. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I think you're right. It could be, oh, actually, no, that wouldn't matter. Yeah, no, you're right. I could just do it, I could just use this as the index, or, I'm trying to think. I have to assign, I mean, I could create a list of these, you're correct, where I could just be like, new list, I could just create a list of tiles, and I have done that in the past. But then I would have to say, well, actually, okay. Let me just think about this. Okay, so we'd say using system.collections. You can see why you would if you wanted more explicit names. Generic, but you're using numbered names anyway. Yeah, that's true. I was kind of hoping I could find better names than this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So think add more properties. Oh yeah, that's true. I'm going to add more properties, but I think I could do new list tile. So we would say let's say public static list of tiles, like all or something. And then we could say it's a new list of tiles. Whoops. Hold on, let me just do that. It's happy about that. So I could say in map, I could say here, all dot or all of 0 or something like that. The issue is that I don't think I can import this statically. So in my opinion, I'd rather have this. If I could do it this way, because what I want is I want to not have to type like tiles dot whatever or tile, because I could do this, but I can import this statically. So here there's a little bit less noise. But if I could do a static import, like if I could import like that, and then just do, well, actually that wouldn't make any sense, so no. Yeah, the main reason, or at least the main reason right now for not changing it is that I don't have to type, like if I want to do this, I'd have to type all of 0 and then all at 1. And so the part here that I care about, since I'm making maps this way, the part that I care about is this, and so then this is just noise. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, you're right. I could just do 0 and then 1, and I could actually technically just do 0, 0 and 0, 1 if I really wanted them all to be the same length. So there is the issue of wedges. That's the other part of this that I haven't shown yet. So I am going to, hang on, let me just grab some of these tiles. Let me see. But yeah, you're correct that I could do it that way. Whoops. Well, that's interesting. Control C doesn't undo a delete. Or undo a duplicate. Oops. So one of the other things that I want to do at some point, like that, is I want to have a sort of wedge. Where is it? Prefab, unpack completely. So there will have to be some kind of wedge tile like that. And it's like 1 dot, is it 4, 5? No, is it 3, 5? 3, 7. Something like that, 3, 7, 5. So there are going to be tiles like this, and they can't just be, like there are going to be tiles like this, so there's going to have to be a second list. So what I'll need, yeah, it's a question of what I'll actually need to do. So at some point I'll need like 4 more tiles here, and it'll be something like W0, it'll be like W01, and then like W02, and then I think 4 and 8. So I'll need some way to index these. And I guess what I could do is I could make the tile list yeah. So what I could do is I could make the named ones, no, because then I'd need a really sparse array, unfortunately. But yeah, these, like I was thinking about doing exactly what you were talking about, and then I was like, oh yeah, but I need the wedges, and then I can't. And I'd also like to be able to rotate them without using Unity rotation. I'd rather just like use a bit mask to rotate them. But yeah, I think since I'm trying to do that, I think it'll make a little bit more sense. But yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice if I could just type 01 or 02 and not have to, I don't know, not have to have the underscore. Yeah, the underscore bugs me too, but for the moment, I'm gonna do it this way. Maybe it'll become like, I don't know, maybe there'll become like a super efficient way to do it that becomes apparent, but I don't know. But anyway, thank you for the suggestion. I like it whenever people are like, maybe you should try this, because you know, I'm not perfect. Yeah, you're right. Avoiding the string lookups, that's a good intent. Well, actually, so the way that I have it, I haven't explained this like scriptable dictionary thing. This is like a super, it's like a super crazy way to do a dictionary. What it does is it basically just takes a scriptable object and makes Unity view it as a dictionary. And it does have an actual dictionary backing it. It has this name to element dictionary. So what it does is whenever I assign stuff, wherever it might be, whenever I assign this element, it looks like a list, but what it will do in the background is it will map the name of the prefab to the actual prefab itself. That way I can look it up as if it's like I can index on it as if it's actually a dictionary. So it is, yeah, it's basically a scriptable dictionary. Yeah, I'm kind of upset that Unity doesn't have one, but yeah, it's basically like a sprite atlas, but you know, just roughly as efficient. But yeah, any of the modification methods just throw an exception because you couldn't modify this anyway. But yeah, that's effectively what it does. So it's not as inefficient as it looks, but it's definitely not as efficient as an array lookup. Like, I would prefer a lookup by index, but yeah. Yeah, it's really, I guess part of what it is I think Unity was developed before functional programming was like in the mainstream of programming. So, and one of the things with functional programming is that once you get into it, like dictionaries become way more powerful than things like arrays. And so I think that's part of what it is that they just didn't sort of, I guess they didn't really think about it because it wasn't in the mainstream and it just got designed around arrays instead. But yeah, whenever you get into like functional programming, the arrays become super, or sorry, dictionaries become super, become preferable to anything else. So the question is going to be, like they don't serialize. There's no good reason for it. They still don't serialize. That's weird that they don't serialize. I mean, I guess it depends on what the key and the value are, because like if you have a dictionary, yeah, a dictionary is not technically guaranteed to serialize, because if either the key or the value can't be serialized, then you run into issues. But if the key and the value can both be serialized, then the array can. Yeah, that are serialized types, it would be just fine. Yeah, just like a list. Yeah. I wonder if you could declare. Can you declare that? Can you be like, let me think about this. So system.collections.generic. Can you say like public class, I don't know, custom dictionary from K to V. The ways around it, just it's not built in. So like if you have like a custom dictionary and it implements dictionary of KV, can you say where K is serializable? It has to be system, right? Can you say where K is serializable? Oh, is that not an interface? Am I crazy? Is there no way to guarantee that something can be serialized? Because I thought system is a serializable attribute. So in C# is serializable, serializable, let me double check. C# I serializable. serialization. So JSON. Hey Omar, how's it going? Right now we are trying to make a dungeon crawler. Trying to make a dungeon crawler for Dungeon Crawler Jam 2021, and we're doing some fun stuff. We're also looking up how serialization in C# works, making an object serializable. So you have to apply the serializable attribute to it. Oh, or implement the iSerializable interface. Oh, and implement that. Okay, so where does this come from? Runtime.serialization. Okay. So you could say where k implements iSerializable and where v implements iSerializable. So you could do this. This is actually valid. So yeah, Unity technically could do this, but it still wouldn't necessarily have the serializable attribute on it. So I don't think there's any way to fix that. I don't know a good way to restrict serialized the types to serialized types. Well, I mean, this would that would fail to serialize an int string dict. Really? Would it? Let's see. That would fail to serialize an int string dict. New public custom dictionary int string. I need your email or Discord something so I can send you the Twitch layout. Oh yeah, my Discord, wherever that might be. My Discord is copied. There we go. There we go. That's my Discord. Yeah, I'm excited to see the Twitch layout. That's going to be really cool. Or the the layout, or the God, what's it called? Overlay. Yeah, because I've needed an overlay for a long time. I've just been too embarrassed to actually try my hand at making one because my artwork is terrible. Yeah. So yeah, you could do something like this, and it looks like it's sort of okay with this. Is it okay with that? Oh no. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. So, oh wow, that's, oh god. Okay, so that's probably why they don't do it, is because it would be very tough. Or that's probably at least one of the reasons they don't do it. So let me think. Okay, so one way. So now the question is, given that I have some kind of static map data, so I guess there's a couple ways to do this. One way is that I could just have a subclass for each map type, which might be worth it. I actually think that might be, well, yeah, it's a question of how to bind these two things together. Because I mean, I guess, again, one solution is I could just have a custom subclass for each one. It was taking a lot of time. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's okay. It would work the same way as list T in Unity, just throws a fit or doesn't serialize it when you can't. Oh, okay. I guess that's fair. Anyway, now I need to recover my Discord. But okay, yeah, I guess that's true. I guess you could do it that way. I guess Unity could do it that way. Is that it would just if it can't serialize it, the editor would just either not bother, it would just not show it, or it would just, throw an error for you. Yeah, these are both called in. It's both called map. This needs to be called map data. Let's say map data. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now, yeah, I need to figure out. So there's a couple ways I could do this. I don't like any of them. but I could do it. So basically what I need, so for the map data, I need a way to notify it about the tiles. Actually, no, I don't. I don't need this as a scriptable object. No, this needs to be a map component. That's what it needs to be. Because then I can register the, yeah, this needs to be just a map component. Okay, problem solved. I know what to do. Yeah, because the thing that I need is that I can't create a map without, or with just the map data. I need to know what the tiles are. So in this case, I could create a, not a public, a protected tile list. Let's do the tiles, and then, you know, protected map data map. Yeah, there we go. And then we can serialize this. We can say this is equal to map data dot small ship. There we go. Then in private void awake, we can do that, and then we can instantiate the tile at that name. Okay. So here what we can do is we can say map dot tiles for each, whoops, using system collections generic. All right, but this is a 2D array. So for each is not going to work here. Neither is toList. So here's something I don't know. Is there a good way to flatten an array? If you have a 2D array, is there a good way to flatten it? I actually don't know. So if I get an enumerator from you, what do I actually get? Get lower bound, get value. Let's check this out. C# flatten 2D array. So anyway, so this uses that, but is there any link method that can do that? Shortest code using linked select many and distinct. Values.select many such that x is x. Ah, interesting. But that only works on one-dimensional arrays. Huh. So there's no way to flatten a square array, it looks like. Interesting. Alright. So we can use enumerable for this. I guess it's fine because we need the x and y coordinates anyway, so that we know where to spawn things. So let's say also need that. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we could say enumerable.range 0 to tiles dot is it rank? No, it's map. Whoops. It's map dot tiles. Is it rank or is it, no, it's not rank, it's length. It's get length at whatever the dimension is. So that will be the x. Dot for each, whoops, toList for each. A range, a list, for each, and then this will be the x, and we'll select that into enumerable.range from 0 to map.tiles get length at 1. Let's actually pull this onto this level. No, actually we'll keep this here. Oops. I want that there. And I want that there. There are a million layers for everything. You said you're not good and all that. Think you can find the right layer? Yeah, I can probably figure it out. Like if you're talking about, if I can open it in some, like I can understand I can probably figure it out. So if I can open it in something like GIMP, like if you're talking about like layers of an image, like I can edit, like I understand images, like I know how to use the layers here. I can make like multi-layer images and stuff like that, and so if it's got like layers here, and I can just edit them, it's probably fine. So for each, such that what is the actual? It's a PSD file. So the thing is, I don't actually have Photoshop. Interesting. It will only open in Photoshop. Okay. How much is a Photoshop license actually? Afraid to ask. So I need to get one, but I've been wanting to upgrade. This can't be right. Yeah, how much is a Photoshop license? Because it's not, like if I just wanted to open, well, why is it showing me this? Huh. Okay, give me a username and every social media. But probably can't write out a PSD. Huh. Interesting. So it looks like you can, it looks like they do have a monthly thing. Like 31 bucks a month. It's probably not terrible. Also, if there's a 30-day free trial to it, I bet I can just use the free trial. Yeah, I bet you I can just use the free trial. Or I can just pay for it monthly. So I can probably figure it out. Plus, let me see. Does GIMP open Photoshop? Best way to open a Photoshop file without Photoshop. Oh, so GIMP can. You're right. You're right, Zaysha. It looks like it can. Okay. So yeah, what I'll do then, Omar, just send me the Photoshop files, and I'll try to figure it out. If I can't figure it out, then I'll bug you on Discord. Yeah, if I can't figure it out, then I'll bug you on Discord. But yeah, otherwise, like I just don't have all of my social media stuff like on hand, and I'd have to go collect it and stuff. But yeah, if I can't figure it out, please username. Oh, okay. That. You know what I need to do? I need to put this in my actual. It's all gone now. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, so for each, for each tile, what we want to do is we want to say instantiate. We want to reach into tiles. And the cool thing is we can go. Sorry. Yeah, try it if you can. Okay. Yeah, thank you for doing that though. That's really cool. I hope the gaming streams help you. Like if you have questions in the future, feel free to ask. I will definitely, I can definitely help you if you need it. Like that's kind of what I do this for. So that should be the tile, or this should be the that should be the tile. And then what we want to do is we want to instantiate the tile, or no, tiles. I'm gonna have to rename that. Tiles at tile.prefab. And then that's going to be instantiated at a new vector3, say position, equal to a new vector3 of x, 0, and y. I'll instantiate it at position, and then quaternion.identity. I think that is right. So let's do, this will be, name to tile. Send a request, cannot send messages as I am. Oh, right. Let me. Huh. It's interesting. So for me, request send, I cannot send messages as long as I am not. Yeah, I can't see the actual request, unfortunately. Like, Discord's not being friendly. I can't shorten it enough to actually make it visible. But yeah, as you can see, it's actually not showing for me. Hold on, let me actually just send you a request. That'll probably be easier. Because yeah, I know that my name has the spaces in it, so it makes it kind of weird. Where is it? You. Alright. I think that sent a friend request. It at least tells me that it was. Okay. There we go. Okay, cool. So yeah, so this is named to tile. Tile.prefab. Yes, name to tile prefab. There we go. So I think my logic is right. I think this should work. Let's try it. So let me create a game object. Call this map. We'll say it's 0 to 0. And then we will add a map component. And then we will add the name to tile prefab like that. Does this work? It might have. Oh my god, it did. Okay, so which one is which? Okay, so this is 0. This is 0. This is 2. This is. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, so this is 0, 1. Wait a minute. What are you? No, you're 0. You're 1. No, you're 0. Wait a minute. Oh, right. 0, 1. So that's facing that way in the Z direction. Okay. Interesting. Remember when I say, let's hope the Discord can handle PSD files. Your files are too powerful. Oh boy. Found a Discord Easter egg? Oh, what is it? Actually, you can tell me its max files limit is 8 megabytes. How big is the PSD file? Keep copying your username over and over? Oh, is it going to tell me something like, let me see what it says. It's not doing anything for me. I wonder if it has to be... I wonder if it's a certain version of Discord? Wait for the bubble to go away each time. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh, okay, so it doesn't go beyond that. Okay, that's really funny. I like that. So it's 200 megabytes for 5 files. Oh, did I actually? Yeah, okay. The only thing I know that can send, well, if it's only 200 megs, you could do that through email. Let me send you my email really quick. Yeah, just try sending it to that email. Also, I am going to. I left. Yeah, Discord is really funny. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Discord's really. It's one of the. Yeah, email is the way. Yeah, it really is. Anyway, I will be right back. I'm gonna go get some water and some food. And yeah, be right back in like 5 minutes. Alright, and I am back. Alright, so what we were doing, we managed to spawn the map into existence, so that's good. Sorry, I just heard something that sounded like, I want to say it sounded almost like a coyote howling. It had that, no, not like a coyote, like a wolf kind of howling. I have no idea what it was, but yeah, I was walking around my house and I just heard that and it just terrified me. So, still shaking a little bit from it. Yeah, I don't know what it could have been. I live in an apartment complex, so definitely couldn't have been a coyote or a wolf. But yeah, still shaking from that. That's kind of terrifying. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to make the map look a little bit like an actual ship. It turns out, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the tile thing. Yes, okay. So we're going to have, oh, there we go. Got your email. Let me, hold on. Let me just go check out that. Okay, cool. So I have those. I am not going to mess with them right now, just because it's, this is kind of a game development stream. But Omar, thank you for sending those, and I will definitely, like before the next stream, I will definitely open those and try to mess with them and see what I can get working. But yeah, I don't want to faff with it right now, just because it's probably going to take me a bit to figure it out. And also, opening Photoshop files in GIMP, especially if they have a ton of layers, is going to burn through my CPU like crazy. But yeah, I will definitely look at those. Because yeah, I've been needing an overlay for a very long time. And so yeah, thank you for doing that. But with our tiles here, we need to add, it's a question of what we're going to add before this to indicate that it is, well actually no, we'll use the underscore to indicate that it's sort of a normal tile, and then we'll use something else to indicate that it's kind of a wedge, or I guess a corner tile. So this will be W, we'll say 01, this will be W02, 02, and oh whoops. Let's create a copy of this. This will be W04 and W08, I think. I think those are the flags that we need. So we have 1, 2, 4, and 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 4, and 8. Okay. This will be tile wedge 01, tile wedge 02, and 04 and 08. It's 08 and 04. Okay. So now that we have those, let me try to actually make one of these ships. I'll make the tiniest one that I have sort of designed. So let's see. It is, it's a good place to put this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11. All right. That's 11 by 5. So this will be 1, 2, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see. So 11. Okay. And then it is by 5, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, okay. So now I need to fill in all the open spaces. So actually all of those are, so all the open spaces are 0. Okay. So that's not what I want. So this could either be null, or it could be, we could have a special thing to indicate like a blank tile, but I don't know that I want a null there. Yeah, we'll have a blank basically. Yeah, no. So what we'll do is we'll say map data will have a public constant int, or no, constant tile, and then it'll just be 3 underscores and it'll be null. So it'll just be a blank tile. So the blanks in this are, there's 3 there and there's 4. So there are 3 here, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. So those are all blanks, and I think there's actually 2 more. Yeah, there's 2 more blanks. Oh, actually, there's yeah, there's 1 blank here, 1 blank here. All right. So those are the 2 blanks. Now let's see. The walls, so the top-facing ones, I think those are. Where are those? Those are 1s. Okay. So there's 1s there, 1s all along the top. So you have 2 1s, and we should have 2 1s here and 2 1s here. Yes, those are 1s. Okay. And then the bottom pieces, where those might be, those should be 4s, right? Yes, those are 4s. Okay. So these are 4s. Okay, and then this piece at the tip, what is that? That is a 7. All right, 7. And then the other pieces that we need. So at the back, there's 1 thingy to the left, so that's an 8. Ooh, that's not right. No, that is right. Yeah, that's fine. That's an 8. And then I think the rest are just wedges. So this one is a 4. This is WO4. 4, and then I think the same over here. This is WO4 as well. And then these are 8s. WO8. WO8. And then a WO8 there, and then there is also 1 there, 1 there, O4 is there, and so I think rotating these we get 2s. These are 2s, yes. WO2 and a WO2, and these are WO1s. Right, so this should spawn the hull that I'm thinking of. Okay. Yes. All right. And so there's a couple things we need to do. The first one is we need to say, let's call this the prefab is equal to, but we don't know if that's right. So say if tile is null, or if not tile, I guess. No, we can't do that. We'll have to say if tile is null. If tile is null, then we just return, because null indicates that we don't want to do anything. Otherwise, we instantiate the prefab. Okay. And so now all we need to do is we need to create the wedge tiles. And so let's grab one of these. So this tile here, this is tile 1. Yes, tile 1. Cool. All at 0, 0, 0, and then the actual wedge. So that one goes, if this is 1, the wedge on this, so unpack completely. So the wall here needs to be right there, and it needs to be at 0, 0. And then at 1.35, no, 1.37, yes. Okay, and so some of these will look like duplicates. This is wedge 01, or no, wedge 1. Hang on, how did I name those? These are wedge 1, 2, 4, and 8. Yes. Okay. So this is 1. It's also, for the moment, going to be 4. So 1 and 4 are going to be identical right now, but later on, the actual like floor tile for it is going to be different. Also the roof tile when we get along to adding those. So those will be different. But otherwise, the 2 and the 8, the only difference here is that the wall is going to be a positive 45, not negative 45. And so this will be 2 and this will be 8, I believe. Yes, okay. So now in 1, we have 2, we have 4, and we have 8. Okay. Now we can get rid of all of these, and then we can erase them. Then in data, in tiles, we're going to add this to be 19. Yes, that'll create 4 more. Then we're going to put 1. I mean, it doesn't matter what order they're in. Just for my sanity, they're going to be in something approximating order. All right. So now, this should work. Interesting. That is not at all what that was supposed to do. So, okay. It looks like it's just being spawned at the wrong angle. So I believe if we flip the X and the Y here, it may actually work. The Y and then the X. That may actually work. No, it doesn't. Interesting. Because the index has to be at the X and the Y. It's the only way that can work, but if we spawn the prefabs in the reverse position, maybe they'll work? I'm curious why this doesn't work, actually. Okay, so now it's being spawned backwards. Well, actually, all of the tiles are just backwards. So what it needs to do is it needs to iterate the other way through this. So it needs to use, from 0 to that, we need to select, actually, the width is going to be map.tiles.getLength at 0. And then the height is going to be getLength at 1. And so we can either, this is getLength at 1, this is, unfortunately, this is start and count, and you can't go in reverse. So we need to select x such that width minus x. So we basically just need to reverse x. And I think we can keep y the way that it is. To list, I think it's just reversing the x is all we need to do. It may actually be that we need to reverse the y. That's interesting. Why is that? Is it 1 minus width? Minus 1. And then this needs to go from there to the width. And then from 1 to the height. Or from 0 to the height. Is that right? I think that's right. So that did not work, so it must need to go from the height to there. Must have to reverse the height. So we say select y such that y, or we'll say height minus 1 minus y. That should work. Hey Omar, how's it going? So question mark. So I did end up, yeah, I got the email. So I don't know if you missed it, but what I'm going to do is before the next stream, I'll look at it. But right now, I don't want to mess with it just because the. Why did that not work? That's weird. Alright, we'll have to fix that in a second. But yeah, I will look at it before the next stream, but yes, I did get your email. But yeah, I don't wanna mess with it right now, just because if I try to open a bunch of stuff with GIMP, yeah, okay. But yeah, if I try to mess with it right now, it's gonna take a bunch of time. And I'm also afraid that if I open a 200 megabyte file with GIMP, GIMP might cause some issues, because GIMP's very inefficient. But yeah, I definitely got it. And yeah, thank you for doing that. Needed an overlay for a very long time. So, do I just need to have you go to height? I need the y to just be height at height minus 1 minus y. Is that all I need to do? I think that's all I need to do, is just spawn them in reverse order. Ah, thank you. Yeah, and as always, dude, if you need any kind of help or anything, just feel free to ping me on Discord or during a stream or something. I'm really here just to sort of help people if I can. Okay, so this reversed that. The ship got reversed that way, so I need to reverse it that way. Or no, I'm very confused as to how it got reversed. But yeah, definitely. If you need help, just feel free to ask. So okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say var tile object is that. Then what we can say is tile object.name is equal to. Then let's say tile. Sure, tile of y x. Right. That should work. All right, let's figure out where these tiles think they are. I mean, it's at least spawning it in the right shape. So let's see. So you believe that you are at 3 and 0. So at 3 and 0, so 3 for the x. Tier 1 is the off. Oh, there is one offline screen, and you need to change the text to starting screen, and save it again, then change it. Okay. Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying. So yeah, there's like there's one for offline, and just for the different types of being offline, I need to change it. So like for okay, let me just say it. So this is one of the offline ones, this is. Oh yeah, I forgot, that's not the offline one, that is. But yeah, for each of those I need to just resave it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry the audio cut out there. I forgot one of my scenes here doesn't have audio. Forgot. But okay, why does this thing. So this thing thinks it's at 0, 1. Why does it think it's at 0, 1? Where does it even think it is? It thinks it's at 0. Okay, it's being spawned. So instead of being spawned at 0, 1, this needs to be spawned at 0, 2. So we need to reverse the x, not the y. And if we do that, then I think it'll. No, we need to reverse. Not the z, right? We need to reverse the x. So we need you to spawn up here. No, we need to reverse the z. So okay, rather than changing this, actually, this is just width minus 1 minus x. Will that work? There we go. Haha, I knew it. Okay, so I knew there was a way to do it. So yeah, this is like sort of the outline for the hull itself. And so I'm going to go with kind of this design for the ships. And again, it's not perfect, but we can sort of fix it up later. Looks like the wedge pieces definitely need to be wider. Yeah, okay, I gotta figure out, how do I make this work the way I want. So let's say you. Where are you at? You are at 0, 3. So what I'd want is for you to be at 0. You say you're at 0, 3, but you're actually at 0, 1. And why is that? Because the tile, the actual map itself is flipped. That's why. Okay. So if that's true, then this really should be there. Okay. Huh. Problem is that whenever I spawn this into the world, it gets flipped. Okay. So the issue is that whenever I code this into an array, it gets flipped once because I'm looking at it on a graph, looking at it on grid paper. It gets flipped once, and then whenever I put it back into Unity, it gets flipped again, but the flip doesn't actually cause it to do what I want. But anyway, it renders the way that I want now, so that's good. That indicates that we are making progress. All right. So let us create some unlit materials then. So in here, okay, actually, all of these tiles need to be at 0, 0. And you all need to be also at 0 and 0. Okay. So I have this tile. This is the floor. Okay. So what we need to do is in the tile, we need to find the floor, and we need to set the material to some unlit material, depending on what style we're using. So let me think about materials here. All right, create a new material. So let's say material, and this will be, I don't know, light brown? Light brown, yeah. So we'll get some kind of brownish color. It'll be a little bit light. We want to change this to URP unlit color, and just some unlit sort of lighter brown color. All right. Yeah, that should be fine. All right. Let's duplicate this and just call it brown. It's going to be some kind of wood texture ultimately, but not right now. Okay, let's do that. And then what we can do is in the map component, we can set the style. So we'll say, first thing we want is a material list. Something like this. So this will be in namespace, oops, none of that was right. red+blue.game. In this namespace, okay, and it is going to be a child of scriptable dictionary, and it's going to hold materials. Then we'll create asset menu list, create asset menu, menu name is list/material, materials. Okay, so yeah, we have that. Now that that's done, what we will do is we will say protected material list, and we will say name to material, because really this is it's really a material dictionary, but I don't want to go back and change it quite yet. And what we will do is we will say tile object. I think you can call .find, but no, you can't. Really? You can't get, you can get children. Really, you can't, interesting. Can you not do GameObject.find? You can, but there's no overload. Ooh, that's very interesting. There's no way to find a child with a specific name. Interesting. Alright, well, that's fine. could say for each transform child in tile object. We can say if child dot, wait, what? Game object dot transform. Yeah, there we go. So we can say if child dot name is floor. So it's floor. And then what we want to do is we want to say child. Oops. Say, well, actually no, we can get the mesh renderer. Renderer, or we can say renderer is equal to child dot get component. No, dot get component. Actually, no, we can actually do this a different way. We don't need to do any of this. We can say tile object dot get components component in children. We can say get components in children. We can call this a mesh renderer. We can say we want to get all the mesh renderers in the children. And then we can say toList for each. Then we can say renderer. What we want to do is we want to say renderer.material is equal to, and in this case we're just going to check if the game object or the renderer, if the renderer dot game object dot name is equal to floor, then what we're going to do is we're going to set that equal to the material or name to material of light brown. Otherwise, we're going to use just the regular name to material of brown. All right, and that should work. So that should just recolor all the walls and floors. So we do data, and then this will be the ship materials. Let's say 2, and let us go here. This is images, materials. Materials got created in here. I guess that's fine. So this is ship materials, and in here, so we'll just put brown, and then we'll put light brown. So yeah, now we have a scriptable dictionary there, and so in map, we'll just set this to be the ship materials. All right, this should recolor everything to work for us. Let's check it out. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Probably want the wedges to be a little bit larger, so I think it needs to be like 1.4 something. Let's say tiles. Where does the wedge need to be? Okay, so you're 1.37. Let's try 1.45. 1.45. Then 1.45. Okay, and then 1.45. All right. Now what happens? All right, looks better. Cool. So yeah, now we can take like this whole design, and then we can add various things to it. But first, we probably need to have a place to spawn the character. We probably also need to move around in this environment. So let me think about this for a minute. Okay, so first we can get the character or the camera moving around. So in components, let's add, let's say, a player component. It is almost 1 o'clock. Curious if I want to save this till later. Yeah, I think I'll do that actually, because I think I'm going to need, I'm going to need to think a little bit harder about this. And, my hair, damn it, it's annoying me. Yeah, I'm going to take a sort of 2-hour break. I'm going to get stuff to eat. We'll be back at 3 with creating the character controller for this. So we'll do it 3. we will make it so that we actually spawn in the correct place. In this case, we're going to want the main camera to be like, you know, somewhere in here. Somewhere like that, that'll be fine. Maybe it'll be rotated this, way, I don't know. We're facing a wall, okay, never mind. Yeah, so we'll have this kind of view, and then we'll make it so that we can move around with the arrow keys. And then after that, we'll move the arrow keys around so that we'll move the controls around so that we can move with, not the arrow keys, but with something else, probably some controls that appear over here. Because my theory is that whenever you're in another ship, like an enemy ship or something, you won't need any of these controls. All you'll need is the menu and then like probably a forward and a backward button, maybe an attack button at the top, or maybe an interact button that will become an attack button whenever you're near an enemy. And then this crew panel will shift up because your crew is going to be kind of your stats when it comes to ship-to-ship combat. We're on, you know, crew-to-crew combat. Your crew is going to be your stats there. So this will probably shift up, and then you'll probably get like a left button and a right button here. And so you'll be able to turn, you just won't be able to move. You won't be able to strafe left and right, but you'll be able to move left and right, like turn left and right. So that's the work that we're going to do later on today. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in a couple hours.